Jen asked me to talk here because I have a story to tell, I guess. And a lot of people here are affected by cancer, me being one of them, and it was kind of a shock. So I wrote a little something because I'm not good at memorizing things, so I have to kind of read it off while I talk, but I'll try. Hold on, let me try this. Upside down? Oh, this works. Okay. That works. All right. So don't mind the tutu. I like to wear whatever I want, kind of. It's kind of what I learned through this. So I was going to say, I would think it isn't really likely while you're here doing a Zumbathon you'd imagine yourself suddenly shaking uncontrollably and convulsing and blacking out. But actually after this workout you might. So I take that back. But I'd say most of us would just assume we are normal, healthy, and nothing out of the ordinary is bound to happen today. But that's exactly how I felt last year. I was in the car with my boyfriend after a dinner date and a movie. Life was great, great job, great love, great friends. I was young and carefree, and I presumed healthy. And then that night, out of the blue, like it would be for any of you now, my face started twitching, and I couldn't stop it. And next thing I knew, his truck was pulled over in the dark on the side of the road. Some time had passed. Oh my God, I hate wasps. I had no idea where I was. But as I woke up and focused, I heard my boyfriend on the phone with someone. I heard him say, Kim had a seizure. Like, what? I've never had one, never seen one, didn't even know what that looked like or meant. When I turned to my right, I realized there were paramedics and firemen on my side of the car. They were asking me, how old are you, what day is it, what happened? I had no idea. Why was I here? Why did he just tell someone I had a seizure? Was I dreaming? I was very confused. Unfortunately, I wasn't dreaming. An ambulance took me to the hospital and I saw my parents running in. My first time ever in a hospital. In a blur, I can remember them putting needles and IVs in my arm and pumping me with vitamins. Then I remember Gravol and sleeping and waking and shaking again. Oh good, another seizure. So it wasn't vitamins. Then, from what I hear, they did a CAT scan and an MRI. My brain blacked out that night, so I don't really remember what happened. But I do have vague flashes of being told I had a tumor in my brain. And crying, apparently a lot. I spent the next 2 weeks of my life in a hospital, which seems depressing, going from normal 1 second to hearing you've got a brain tumor and will be having your head cut open in 2 weeks in the next second. But thankfully, I had a boyfriend who never left my side, day or night, and friends and family that visited every minute of every day. I was spoiled with dinners and gatherings and gifts and flowers. We made over my hospital room to feel like home, though I was never really in it. I felt fine, so I spent the days with my friends and family on the neuro floor. Something about a moment like this makes you immediately appreciate all the little things. We had food, made friends, had TV nights. I had some of the happiest weeks of my life in the hospital, ignoring the fact that I had a tumor in my head that I had now named Maury after Maury Povich, because I love him. My surgeon had convinced me everything would be fine, and I didn't even need to think about any negative outcomes. Hakuna Matata from my favorite movie. No worries, and that's what I stuck with. March 7th, 2011, they brought me in for brain surgery. They were keeping me awake, and although I wasn't knocked out, all I remember after going into the operating room was the Valium they gave me. And then I was dancing in Disney World and dreaming of Hawaii, feeling and hearing them saw through my head and screw into my skull. But I didn't care. I thought about all the things I needed to do when this was done, go on vacations, do all the things I've wanted to do. Definitely go to Disney World again. And Hawaii. I asked the anesthesiologist how it was going, under the little sheet thing. Good, he said. Almost done. It's good. I was happy. You been to Hawaii, I asked. Yes, he said. It's beautiful. Thought I've got to go there when this is over. I survived the surgery. They even left all my hair. Shaved only a small line, and I had a hairband of staples. I was sent home 2 days later. They tried for one. It was good. I could still walk and talk and move like a normal person, so I assumed it was good. I was put on steroids that made me get really fat, swollen, eat a lot, not sleep, sweat, and displaced my body fat, so I kind of looked like a monster. But when those were done, seriously, it was bad. I got excruciating headaches and learned I had an infection in the surgical site. I was given a PICC line in my arm that led to my heart, and I got to carry on antibiotics in a sexy fanny pack with me for 10 weeks until my boyfriend bought me my favorite designer purse to put my tubes in. I had a nurse coming to my house almost every day. I couldn't drive because you lose your license when you have a seizure, and I had 3 more seizures. I wasn't so normal anymore. I had an appointment with my surgeon for results during all this. They told me it was a grade 2/3 tumor. Did that mean I had cancer? Did it mean I didn't? He was unclear. But he wanted me to get radiation. Maybe, just in case. And when I went to that appointment, the radiologist told me he wanted to zap me 30 times with radiation. And send me to an oncologist for possible chemotherapy at the same time. Uh-oh. That, to me, chemotherapy would mean my hair would fall out. The first time I met with the oncologist, my boyfriend and my brother were with me. The doctor sat me down and held my hand and gave me his calm, soothing voice and said, "I know some doctors are telling you brain tumors and cancer are different, but you have abnormal cells growing in your brain." And then I heard him say it, and my vision went blurry and white. "This means you have cancer." Shoot. And so I went from normal carefree girl to cancer patient. Once the infection cleared up, I did radiation and took chemotherapy pills at home with it. It wasn't so bad at first. The chemo didn't make me sick, and the radiation seemed kind of relaxing. They played my favorite music every day. It took only 15 minutes every day of the week, Monday to Friday. But then I got the side effects. I was too tired to do much, couldn't even go shopping. So tired. My vision went blurry the first week, my hands started shaking the second week, my legs drove me crazy all the weeks after that, and my hair started to fall out. And not in a nice way. My long, down to my butt hair fell out in patches, slowly. And one day in the mirror I realized I couldn't cover it up anymore. I was bald on the front half of my head, and the back right of my head, all the big radiation spots, but still had a little in the back left. Like, it was the ugliest hairstyle ever. But after 6 weeks, 30 times, I finished radiation and took that trip to Disney World. Everything is so much more beautiful when you really start to appreciate it. The smells, the sun, the happiness, the rides, the lights, and the fireworks. I needed to be a kid again. Hence this. Because when I returned, I'd be doing 6 months of stronger chemotherapy. But with my 3/4 bald head, my friends and family, and my sense of humor, I made it through 6 months of chemo pills just fine. And January 6, 2012, my boyfriend and I kissed the last pills goodbye. I took them and we cried. I knew I had just made it through 2011, and every year after that would be great. I had parties for everything during this, because I knew now life needed to be celebrated. And the end of treatment was definitely no exception. My friends all came to my F this C, cancer is over party, and even got a cake for me iced with F the cancer on it. Then my family surprised me with another celebration. It was a tough year, but eventually my body returned to normal through exercise and time. My long brown hair only grew back on the other 3/4 of my head. So in case I need a reminder to appreciate life as it is, I can take off my pretty wigs at any time and for life have this really sexy sexy mullet, it's up in a ponytail, skullet, comb over thing that I've got going on. It'll never grow back on the right side because they killed it from the irradiation. But hey, I survived. And my sight, hands, legs, and seizures are all under control. I've had MRIs that have recently told me it looks good. Chemo ate that cancer, and I am currently cancer-free. And the survivors I've met through this, now this won't fit on my head with me. And the stories I've heard have shown me how strong we all are and the appreciation we have. They all feel the same. I can only hope that you all get to see the things the way I see them now. But don't wait for a situation like mine. Cancer is an evil disease, but with the research from donations like this, things are changing a lot. Like, they actually are. So I thank you for being here today. All of us affected by cancer, either on our own or through a loved one. Thank you for being here. And I think that's probably all of us, because these days everyone is affected by it. So now I say we continue to dance, sweat, exercise, laugh, move. Just appreciate your life, your friends, and your family, and all we have to look forward to, and Hakuna Matata.